Boom. What is up? Lone Chemist Podcast, episode, I think it's 28. I haven't looked at the YouTube link, so please forgive me.
It is 28, yeah.
It's 28? Oh, perfect. All right.
It is
So
28, yeah.
my guest is being a more professional podcast host than me. That's great. That's good. I'm going to walk this one off. My name is Johnny. I'm the Lone Chemist. I like long walks on the beach. I'm a Taurus. I prefer red wine to white wine. And I have a very special guest here, someone who I've been admirer of for quite some time. I have Mauricio, who is the head honcho, the poster child, the mastermind of Browntable. What's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going? It's me, Mauricio from Browntable. Yeah, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. It was a long day today. I was, in the lab, just suffering greatly, but happy to talk to you here in the podcast. Take a break from my, chemistry life and geek out about movies and other, nerd boy shit.
Definitely. I feel that.
Yep. So if people don't know, in the chat who are watching the podcast right now, which people usually trickle in like 5 minutes, so I'm probably just talking out into the ether right now, which is fine. So Mauricio here runs a channel called Browntable. I was gonna call you Red Stool or something like that, like you're like
just to mess with me.
Yeah, Red Chair or some shit. But you're a video essayist, and you also have other kinds of segmented content. So you do animation, you do like general commentary stuff. Like, is there anything else that you do besides that stuff on your channel?
I used to do a lot of like skits, like original just skits. I don't do it as much anymore. I'm focusing a little more on video essays, but I'm still I have one like already made, but I have to find the right moment to post it, because I feel like if I post it, way too far out into like the future, people are going to be like, ew, unsubscribe. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to really, I have to calculate. As a content creator, man, you got to calculate, when you're going to post stuff, so I think
is that so shitty where it's like the quality of the content isn't the only factor for it like being seen and being loved. Like, it's like there are so many extenuating factors, like when you post it, what is happening on the internet around the time you post it. It kind of sucks that like you have to rely on things that are external to what you make, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah, man. You have to follow like I guess just trends, and I think that's reason why partnerships exist. They like follow trends and they tell you like what types of things to post and stuff. So yeah.
No, I
people make a lot of money from that. So yeah,
they can. I wish people could bring me on a piece of that, but unfortunately, dude. So my Thanos video had 1 million views. I didn't get monetized until view 800,000. So like I missed out on like that many, because like I was at so like it's like 4,000 views. I think is 4,000 watch hours is like the threshold for being monetized. So because of my podcast, my other video essays, and like Adam McKay and shit, I was at like 3.9 for like months. And then like the push I needed was when my Thanos video blew up, and it just took him forever to prove my account. So, sad.
Damn. No, YouTube takes its sweet time with stuff, man. It's like, God, it's like every time you have like a little problem, it's like, okay, we're on it, we're going to fix it. And then it takes like 2 minutes to fix. It takes like fucking 2 months to fix. And it's like, it's impossible. It's like, but we try, it's like how we make money, and that's we can't really do anything else other than that. So
exactly. Got to fake it till you make it, man.
Fake it till you make it. I think that's one thing I actually like. That's like a thing I live by. I have to pretend. Okay, well, this is kind of like, then this is me just saying the truth then, but it's like I always feel like I state what Browntable is like a company, like it's an actual thing, like people are going everywhere, and it's like face, but people are behind it and stuff. But it's just me, man. It's just one person. That's like when I made the Return to Zootopia fan film, everyone was like, damn, good job, you and your team, you guys are killing it. And it's like, it's just me, man. It's just one person, and my talented voice actors, who I love very much.
Yeah, like you outsourced the voice acting for your most recent anime thing to like some of the Film Hub guys, right?
Yeah, definitely. I got Houston Productions Houston from there, and Bailey from Loverboy or Breaking Banter.
Yep.
Houston's going to be a student, and Bailey's going to be one of the teachers. And
nice.
They're both pretty main characters. Hopefully their mics are good. But yeah. So that's fun. That's definitely fun. And I want to try to get more Film Hub guys, but
Yeah. Well, if you need if you need like an impressionist, that's the like. I'm decent at chemistry. I'm like, I guess, passable at video essays, but I'm extremely good at impressions. So if you have any
really?
cameo,
What are your impressions, man? Give them to me. Give them to me. Let's go.
On. I gotta sip this apple juice. That's not alcohol, real quick, so I can lubricate my throat real quick. One sec.
Gotcha. Totally.
What should I do? Okay. me. Perhaps one of someone's sushi man before throwing him out of a plane.
Oh, fuck, it's Bane!
It doesn't matter who we are. What matters is our plan. I broke you. How have you come?
That was really good, man. That was amazing. That was great, man.
Yeah, dude. Like, I have perfect pitch. Like, I've been singing since I was like 8 or 9, and so like I just naturally have like a really really good ear. So like I hear a voice once and I can like impersonate it pretty well. I mean, I obviously I can't do like really boisterous voices. Like I try to do Bradley Cooper in A Star Is Born, but it's like I gotta chain smoke like 45 cigarettes and then like chug a bottle of Jack before I do that shit.
Yeah, dude, that voice is hard. I just rewatched Star Is Born yesterday. God, that movie's so good, man. And
yeah,
I'm still like shook by, I guess, Bradley Cooper's voice because I keep hearing Rock in his normal voice and then A Star Is Born voice, and it's like 3 different voices, and it's just insane. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, exactly. I was so happy for him because like apparently that's been like a passion project of his for like so long, and the fact that he got it made and it was actually like, you know, critically loved is
Acclaimed,
awesome.
Man.
Yeah, for sure. And like Bradley Cooper's one of the best actors working right now, in my opinion. Like,
definitely.
Dude, like he's somebody who doesn't really get his day in the sun for like being like a true like method actor. Like for American Sniper, for example, like he disappears behind that role. I mean, like we can have check depends about the movie. It's like it's not a perfect film, but like by any means, but like he legitimately does not act like himself at all. Like he disappears behind that role. It's pretty nuts.
It's great because like whenever I see him in his movies, like I don't think, hey, I think, oh, it's this guy. You know, I just completely he has this talent of making the audience get completely immersed, I guess.
Yeah, no, for sure.
He's really good.
Yeah,
really
I mean, he's an absolute baller.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about you a little bit. All right, so you were a young guy, which making me, you know, my birthday was this last Friday, so I'm feeling extra old now. You are 20 years old. You're in.
Happy birthday.
Oh well, thank you. You know, thank you for reminding me that I'm old now. Thank you.
Gotcha.
It's fine. So you're a young guy. You're 20 years old. You're in college right now.
Yes, I am. It's very stressful. I constantly think about not having gone, but you know, it's a plan B. You know, it's a plan B. Always gotta have a plan B.
Yeah, dude. I'm in grad school right now, and I feel you on that. Like, there are some times where like you're in like the middle of like academia, and like you're either pulling an all-nighter or like you have like some massive thing you have to do, and you take a step back and you realize, my life would be so much simpler if I just settled for a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah, exactly, man. Dude, I keep thinking about that. Like, why do I suffer so much on YouTube? Because YouTube doesn't love us. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's like it always has all these fluctuations, and it always cares more about its advertisers, you know. And it's sometimes I'm like, you know, I could just focus on art, and I could just get a job. But that's kind of like not what I really want to be, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
I kind of want to branch out, be like more of an independent creator. So I could, but that's not really what I want to focus on. I want to at least try before I fail, and then, you know, do my plan B, you know. So.
And then it goes back to fake it till you make it, man. But
yeah, no, yeah. Gotta fake it, man. Oh god, dude, I've been faking it so hard. I've been faking it since middle school. Like it's that's what I do.
Dude, I'm trying to get a fucking PhD in chemistry. You think I'm genuine? I'm trying to like, you know, make it seem like I'm actually intelligent, but like I'm a fucking moron.
Dude, oh my god, and I can't even imagine because chemistry was like my weakest subject, and I had AP biology in high school, and for some reason I took it with my friend Alex, and we were like, yeah, let's do it. We're gonna kick ass in this thing, and I just barely passed. And Alex, the teacher didn't really like him that much, and so she pretty much coerced him to drop the class, and he dropped it. And it was insane. It was really, really tough.
So you were left by yourself then? Oh man, that's rough.
Yeah, then I was by myself, and then I was like, I have no friends, and then I had to make new ones, you know.
Yeah,
which is harder than it sounds, but it happened. But it's pretty tough. Just making acquaintances in general.
Yeah, and dude, like not even memeing, like those like upper level science classes. Typically, people don't try and make friends in those classes, so like you're already at a massive disadvantage by like, not having your boy in there with you. Like it's
I have no idea what you just said. Like my connection must have gotten screwed,
cut
and
out.
you just sounded like a robot. Sorry.
God, I'm 26. My podcast is suffering. Oh man. No, yeah. I was saying like so like. With other kind of classes, like let's say you were taking like, I don't know, like a video broadcast class and like your friend dropped and you made new friends. I feel like a lot of those other classes that are more geared towards arts or collaboration are so much more geared towards you actually making connections with people, where in hard science, it's eat or be eaten, especially at the collegiate level. So like the fact that your friend had to ditch because your teacher was an asshole, very sad, man. My heart goes out to you.
Yeah, no, yeah, man, it's a tough one. And she was a lady, and she was weird. I mean, she was very nice, but also very, I guess. There's this word when you're it's not condescending. It's like
conceited.
No, it's not even that. It's like when you're being rude, but it's not a very obvious way of going about it. You know what I'm talking about? It's like low key being like a douche to you. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's a hard.
I know what you're talking about. There are a number of words for that, but basically, like she was like she was being disingenuous, where she presented herself as like being like a good person, but was kind of an asshole, like very slyly.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Okay,
I think there's a lot that goes out to a lot of teachers, honestly.
For sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, so back on you. So like, you're in college. You're a young guy. So what are you studying in college? And you started. I assume you started when you were 18, right? So you have 2 more years left.
Yes, I have 2 more years left, and it's been fun so far. I'm studying computer animation, visual effects, focusing on computer animation, the animation part of computer animation. I'm trying to learn modeling, like 3D modeling and stuff like that, but that shit's hard. So I'm focusing mostly on just animating, just movement and stuff. Learning 2D animation on my own, and trying to learn visual development on my own as well, like just painting, drawing, painting.
Nice,
stuff
dude.
Like that.
So kind of like on your formative development as a content creator, like what really got you into, I guess, starting, entertainment critique or video essays, or just like, creating animation, I guess, like what like made you want to start either a YouTube channel, or even going farther back than that, what made you actually want to be, an entertainment creator?
Got you. Okay. That's a very, very loaded question.
Do it, man. Like we all the time in the world, man.
I got you. So, pretty much when I started, I don't know. I guess you ever heard of the guy Alex Luthor on YouTube?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he makes like all these like fan made trailers, and I was like, yeah, that looks cool. I kind of wanted to make a fan made trailer, and I started with Actually, it goes way further back than that. The very first thing I did on YouTube was because it was a Red versus Blue video. I don't know if you've seen Rooster Teeth.
Oh my god, classic.
Yeah. Classic. So it was a Red versus Blue like tribute video. It was like when they were in season 10, I think, or maybe 9. And no, it was like 10, I think, 10, maybe 9. And I was like, man, this show's fucking great. I need to make a tribute video out of it, show some cheesy music. I think it was like that Paul Walker music from Fast and Furious.
Oh.
And then I was like, yeah, this looks good. And then I loved superheroes, so I kept going into that. I edited on Movie Maker, which was a disaster. Yeah. So it was like, I think every video, even like my first few reviews were Movie Maker. And man, it was just so fucking bad. Never use Movie Maker. And shit, like there was one scene I wanted to edit, which was like, remember in the Avengers where Thor is like, is that all you can do to Ultron?
Yeah.
And then I was like, man, I'm going to edit Spider-Man into this shot. But I didn't have After Effects or anything like that. So I was like, I'm going to be insane. And I literally got a scene of Spider-Man, got every single frame, and I put it in Photoshop, and I manually cut Spider-Man from every single frame until I was able to put him into the video. And I think that's the most insane thing I've done, just because of how like dumb that is. Like that's a load of time wasted. But I learned how to use Photoshop a lot more because of that. And after that, yeah, I mean, I just liked making fan-made trailers, and I took little bits of Alex Luthor because I was too lazy. I wasn't really like a legit thing. And eventually I started to branch out a little bit with reviews because I was like, I have an audience at this point. I don't want to just stick to, fan made trailers. And also, the worst part is that I can't make money off fan made trailers because it's music and video that you don't own. And so I was like, I gotta make money because I have an audience and I really like creating things because that's like my thing. So I decided to make reviews, and my first review is the most cringiest, disgusting thing you could ever see. I was so fucking scared of that review, man. Like, okay, so I was like, say where I am, right? And the monitors are in front of me, but I was like looking backward, the camera was there. And I didn't know how to act in front of a camera because I was like, like 15, maybe 16. And so it was an Ant-Man review. And I just looked dead on at the camera, and I was like, I don't know how to act, and I didn't have a personality, so I was just like, like.
I liked Ant-Man. Ant-Man was cool. Did you guys like Ant-Man?
No, I was trying to. I was imitating Chris Stuckman, but I wasn't understanding why Chris Stuckman is likable, and that's his personality. So I was just like a robot, and I was like, "Hello, this is Browntable, and this is my Ant-Man review. I like to grade movies on a 5-star basis, and 1 star is terrible, and 5 stars is great." And I was just dead serious the whole video, and I was, "What the fuck? It was so bad." It was so bad, and I still have it up because I need to constantly remind myself how terrible.
Hey everybody, how's everyone doing? We're back. All right. Yeah, I think Static's gone. All right, let's pick up where we left off then, man. So you don't have to embarrass ourselves again. So, for people who are joining us now, we just had a terrible technical difficulty, but we fixed it now, thank God. Yeah, we're back. So, Browntable, what's new in the last 20 minutes?
Oh, dude, I'm getting Endgame flashbacks, dude.
Yeah, I know, man.
I don't think I've even recovered from that, honestly.
All right.
Still, I'm so hurt.
All right, let's talk about Endgame real quick. All right, so I've seen it 3 times. How many times have you seen it?
I've seen it twice.
Twice.
And it was great both times, yeah.
Like, honestly, I would argue it's even better the second time you see it, because, like...
It is better.
Because, like, the first time you see it, like, you're trying to, like, pay attention to all the plot points. You're trying to, ascertain how it all connects to the universe. And basically, the movie kind of falls in the background. But the second time you see it, you know the plot, and you can just kind of just enjoy all the emotional arcs that you get from the movie, which I think is really special. Because, like, looking back on it, like, through a kind of a backseat lens, I think is really important, because so much shit happens in that movie where, like, you need a breather to actually absorb it all.
Yeah, man. What's it called? It was the first time you see it, I feel like people are so focused on watching and getting what they want to see that, they're like, "Oh man, that's weird." And then by the next time they see it, they already know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's like they've accepted it, and then they're just like, yeah, I enjoy it now. There's a lot of stuff I enjoyed more after when I rewatched it. So. Yeah,
me too. Like, and I'll be honest. So I mean, we can kind of go on this for a little bit. I only really had 2 kind of gripes with the movie. I mean, first of all, to praise the movie a little bit, I legitimately have no idea how they were able to write a screenplay that comprehensive and that amazing. Like they
honestly,
they legitimately, they not only made so many references and so many emotional bits and payoffs throughout the entire MCU. They wrote a comprehensive story that actually made sense in the tale they're telling. And it wasn't like, obviously there's a lot of fan service, but like they did it in a way where it didn't feel like it was like shoehorned in or was like, pandering to people. It's like they like, God, like a really stupid one, which is kind of like silly, is in the beginning, how like in the first Iron Man, Tony Stark says, "I don't want to see this on social media," when he takes the picture of that guy in the Humvee.
Yeah.
So the same thing with Pepper Potts when he's like recording on the helmet in the spaceship. It's like, "Hey, Miss Potts, I don't want to see this on social media page." And I was like, God damn.
Yeah, dude. Everything is tied together. Like when Tony gives Cap his shield back or something in that scene, and he's like, "All I want is peace, man." And then he does the peace sign just like in the first Iron Man. It's just so great.
Yeah, it's so
tiny
good.
Thing. It's fantastic.
But yeah, like honestly, I've been struggling which one I like more, Infinity War or Endgame. I think I like Endgame just a little bit more because basically, like, that story is so airtight where I can't really find any kind of logical inconsistencies in that story, like at all. Well, I mean, at least not ones that take me out of the movie. With Endgame, if you look too deeply into some of the time travel stuff, it does have some inconsistencies. But in terms of like the emotional payoff you get, I think Endgame takes it. But in terms of a film, I think Infinity War is probably still my favorite one for Marvel.
Me too. I definitely I prefer Infinity War more, just because as a person, like, I just enjoy it more.
Yeah.
And like I feel like since it's so tight, like you were saying, I feel like I can just watch and be like, yeah, this is great. But Endgame, it's like, wait a second, this should be happening, and there's a few things I just didn't like about Endgame in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just prefer. Yeah.
Yeah. Me too. And like. As you can tell, I mean, I'm a huge Thanos fanboy. Like, I grew up reading.
Oh yeah, man, yeah, 1 million views, dude. Yeah, of course.
Well, but God, not only so that, great. like like I didn't make that video to get 1 million views. I made it because I genuinely was amazed at what they were able to do with Thanos' character. Because like,
I could tell, man.
And dude, like, so the thing I thought was really fascinating was, so they traded in the literal, in-your-face representation of being in love with death for a metaphorical, really nuanced take where, he's in love with death in the movie like he is in the comics, but it's not because he wants some, to get his, his romantic date with, candlelit table with death.
With literal death, yeah.
Yeah,
big-breasted death.
Like, oh my, that would have been so silly if they did that. But basically, like, they have him in love with death, but they do it in a completely roundabout and metaphorical way. And like, it's not because he's in love with death because he wants to get his dick inside of death. It's because he truly believes that through death he will save the world, which I think is just really profound.
It's brilliant. It's honestly great. Yeah. And it's much. Actually, I thought death was in Infinity War.
Really?
And I saw Red Skull, and I was like, "Oh my fucking god, is that like death, but it's a male?" And then I saw this face, and it's like, "Oh, it's Red Skull."
Yeah.
No, but
exactly.
I feel like everyone in the theaters when I watched it. Red Skull came out and you couldn't see the face. It was all black. Yeah. People were like, holy shit. They were like freaking out. And then it ended up being Red Skull and they really started freaking out because that was actually what they didn't expect.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But, going on Thanos' character a little bit. So I've been really struggling with this and people are all saying that Thanos' character was ruined in Endgame. Like, what do you think about that?
What do you mean by ruined though? Because I've heard lots of things.
Yeah. So basically, they have the notion where Thanos' emotional arc in Infinity War delivers a lot more nuance than Endgame does for him, and I totally agree with that. Where like he's reduced to like the brooding big bad with like the universal destruction of the entire universe rather as his entire goal. And so like when I first saw it, I wasn't that big on it. 'Cause I'm just like, okay, you traded in a nuanced and really amazingly written character for something that's just kind of like out of any Zack Snyder movie. Like,
yeah it's he turned into Steppenwolf for a second there.
Yeah, he wants to terraform the earth. But like when I really think about it, okay, so and I think for my Thanos like follow-up video to like the one I'm gonna do when I talk about his juxtaposition of like his arc in Endgame versus Infinity War, essentially the movie it makes logical sense why he believes what he believes in Endgame. It's just not nearly as emotionally impactful as like the hero's quest that Thanos goes through in Infinity War. So like yeah, so like and an example of that is the movie, in Endgame, his most powerful weapon against the Avengers is information. And so he learns that 5 years on, his plan, not only did it not work, but humanity refuses to live on, even though, resources are being consumed at a lesser rate than they were when the universe was overpopulated. So essentially, like he realizes that through seeing all of Nebula's memories, he realizes, oh shit, these people who are left behind after all the loved ones are gone, they're not going to take advantage of the bountiful amount of resources that are left on the earth. All they're going to do is just remember the people that they loved and then try and get them back. And that prevents life from moving on. So like, and then logically the next step has to be, okay, the universe is overpopulated. There are resources that are, being consumed at a commensurate rate. So I have to destroy all of life and then start a new universe with a lesser amount of life so they don't overpopulate and they don't remember that their loved ones are all gone. And like it makes sense logically, but like the emotional arc.
It's definitely not as impactful, man.
No way. Like not
it's
even
because
close.
you traded in. Like you were saying, you traded in like a more complex character for just a more straightforward one. It also hurt that the Thanos that we're following in Endgame is a Thanos that didn't go through Infinity War Thanos went through, and
Yeah.
for example, like Gamora dying, like he hasn't experienced that. So
yeah.
I definitely didn't like Thanos in Endgame as much as Infinity War, definitely because of that. But he was still fine.
Yeah.
I just felt like I don't know, just in general, the movie I felt like needed more stakes in the second act because in Infinity War, Thanos is a looming presence, and he's like, there's basically like a countdown clock, like we have to do this fast. If not, Thanos is going to just straight up catch us. Have that, and just the only stakes that they have are, well, we can only go one time and then come back.
Yeah.
Timed, so they can actually take as much time as they want, and it was just kind of weird.
Yeah. No,
that people.
I agree with that.
I heard that one thing that people are okay with is the whole time travel thing, and how, if you change the past, the timeline instead of changing the future, that's the time travel logic that Endgame runs on.
Yeah.
And
Dragon Ball Z.
I like that because if it was like you change the past, you change the future, it would just overcomplicate everything.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you do change the past and it does affect the future, stakes so much higher that I feel like they should have done it anyway.
Yeah.
Well, like Loki taking the Tesseract, like I'm not saying it would be a good idea. It's a good idea that just what they did, but it would have been interesting to see like things like Loki taking the Tesseract. I was actually thinking, oh man, like he's gonna take it, and what the hell's gonna happen now? But it just created an alternate timeline, and it's like, oh, all right, well.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I mean, I think I may be a little more sympathetic to the Dragon Ball Z like rules that they have in it's like Dragon Ball Z Trunks like timeline rules, like when Trunks time travels in DBZ. Like it's like you can only create new timelines, and that's at a proportional rate at which you have instant time travel. So like the thing is, they have to go back and revisit all those different plot settings in the entire MCU, where if they did the Back to the Future, the Terminator timeline like rules, then it would have just overcomplicated everything, like you said.
Exactly.
And so like I don't know. Like even though like the logic is not as ironclad as Infinity War for like the kind of the bigger themes like existentialism and time and all that stuff, I still really enjoyed it because they were able to tell a comprehensive story, and they were able to deliver fan service in so many different ways.
Definitely. It's just such an amazing feat, honestly. It's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And like on my podcast, my last one with my main collaborator, Abdallah, like we were talking, and so I prefaced the whole podcast about Endgame with, even if people don't like superhero movies or they hate the MCU or anything like that, you still have to marvel, pun intended. You still have to marvel at like the sheer audacity, creativity, and effort it took to make something like this, and the fact that it even exists is crazy. Yeah.
There's a person on the chat that put, one time I had a dream before Endgame was announced. I heard in my dream that the sequel to Infinity War was named Infinity Warfare. It's so good. I can just imagine that, like Infinity Warfare.
Yeah, dude, that kid wins that 10 out of 10 meme right there. That's amazing.
Dude, that's fucking great. Honestly.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
What did you think of what did you think of Black Widow dying?
It's a huge one. I heard a lot of people don't like it. I loved it, but I think it was a little rushed. And the reason why, again, is because the second act felt like it had so little stakes the entire time. It was actually kind of played for fun.
Yeah.
That when there was actually a serious situation going on, it was like, oh, wait. Like, someone's going to die now? It felt like so... Boom, they're on Vormir. They don't have any, like, previous banter. They just immediately start walking and they find Red Skull.
Yeah.
And then they're like, all right, one of you is going to die. And then they stayed there, like, freaking out for, like, a minute. And then they're like, okay, we need to kill each other.
Yeah.
And they start doing it. And it's like... I wish there was a bit more build up, and the reason why is because I was confused as to why Nebula didn't say that if you go to that planet, one of you is going to die.
Well,
like,
I definitely hear that, but I mean, like, I'm not sure if Nebula knows that like sacrifice is the linchpin to getting the Soul Stone. I know, like, she
definitely,
said,
but
yeah.
In Infinity War, she said like,
but no, like he went to Vormir, came back with the Soul Stone. Gamora didn't. Yeah, like I totally get that, but like even so, like does she know that it's like magic basically, where you have to like you have to sacrifice a loved one to get the Soul Stone?
Definitely. I think Black Widow in the movie also says that. She's like, well, with Thanos did come here with Gamora and then he left alone or something. So it's like they knew.
Yeah.
But also they kind of go without like this expectation that maybe one of them is going to die. I feel like that should have been from the beginning.
For sure. Yeah.
And then Red Skull's like, one of you is going to die, and then they're just starting to freak out. I feel like that should have been an ongoing conversation on the way to the mountain.
Yeah.
And then when it's confirmed, then it's like, oh my god, it is happening. And
yeah.
A little more banter, like, no, that's not going to happen. Like, we can solve our way out of this. And then it's like impossible to solve their way out of. So it's like, oh well.
Yeah. Like
I don't know, something. It's
yeah.
I'm no writer, so I wouldn't really know, but just trying to figure out like how it could have been maybe a little bit more built up rather than just like, okay, you're gonna die. It's
yeah. And also, like, to go along with that, like the pacing issues kind of motivate. Like, it just seems like, okay, they copy and pasted the speech from Red Skull from Infinity War into this, and it's like, oh, I get it. Like, Barton and Black Widow haven't heard the speech yet, so we have to hear it again because they haven't heard it yet, which I totally get. But because the preceding scene is so rushed, it just makes it seem like kind of lazy in that point. But like, the thing that sucks is like that's like one of the biggest emotional climaxes of the movie, and like to have any element of that feel rushed or lazy is kind of upsetting.
It would have been good if they were talking about, like, as they're way up to the top of the mountain, they were talking like, hey, heard that Nebula said that Gamora died and then Thanos left with the Soul Stones. Like, what do you think about that? Maybe they're talking about like, oh man, what if like some things like Thanos just killed her for no reason, or she needed that in order to get the Soul Stone, and then once you reach the top, you just see Red Skull.
Yeah.
And then that's all you see. Like, you already know what's going to happen. So then it cuts freaking out. So it's like you already infer as like the audience, as the viewer of Infinity War, like what's happened. So you don't need to see that.
Yeah.
Next thing like, they're panicking, and it's like, oh shit, like, oh, now they know what's going on,
Yeah, exactly. It cuts to Red Skull, and then like, either like the music swells, and like when they all go back to the platform, like, Barton's crying or something like that, has a Soul Stone, and like, Black Widow's like obviously gone. But like, so obviously we bitched about the pacing issues. I loved the finality that Black Widow's character arc had in that moment. Fantastic. Because like, so I mean, think about it. Like in the first Avengers movie, like when they have Loki trapped in the helicarrier, Loki's like, oh yeah, do you love Barton? And like Black Widow's like, love is for children, but I owe him a debt. And so basically, obviously, because of the whole Budapest storyline that we learn about later in the movie, she literally owes Hawkeye her life. And so not only does she actually repay her, her red ledger, as she eloquently puts it in that scene in Avengers, she also proves that she actually genuinely does love him platonically as a friend, which is like that. And the whole thing with Black Widow in this movie, it's like she's creating purpose out of accepting the terrible things that have happened to her. And like there were some problems.
Man, you just put it so well. You just put it so well, man.
Oh shucks. Yeah, maybe I'll make a Black Widow video because R.I.P. But
you should, man. That's good. That's a good start. Yeah, it was just brilliant. I loved it. I also love anything with forehead touching because it just feels so powerful. Like in Planet of the Apes, when the apes are forehead touching, it just feels so good.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I really appreciate that.
So fresh, so clean.
It was great, and so. Yeah, just that scene was fantastic.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. A couple pacing issues aside, the emotional arrival that you get once she sacrifices herself is like, really, it's really impactful. It really is. What other aspects of not Infinity War? What other aspects of Endgame did you like or not like, or would you want to have improved, or what?
I think the biggest thing is definitely. I mean, I want to save this maybe for my video, but
got
I
it,
think
got it. Yeah,
definitely the second act has some
issues.
maybe just some issues. I feel like the first act should have run maybe just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Some characters are, I feel like they were handled not as well as they could have been.
Yeah.
Some characters definitely needed some more closure, I feel.
Yeah, exactly. That's speaking of closure, we got to talk about Fat Thor real quick.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to talk about.
All right. So first of all,
that's like I wanted to make a video out of that. So I was like, maybe you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Sorry, you don't have to elaborate too much. Like, let's just talk generally. The first time I saw it, I really didn't like it at all, and like
didn't like it at all either the first time.
Yeah, and like it just felt like, like usually I'm okay with, MCU comedy. Or like I know there has to be some quips and some one-liners and stuff that are said to bring people in the seats, and it's kind of tongue in cheek. And with that character, when I first saw him, like I was really turned off by it. I'm like, okay, you're taking somebody who had a really, really beautiful emotional arc in Infinity War, and you're reducing him to comedic relief in this movie. And which I won't lie, there are a couple actually genuinely funny jokes, like the Big Lebowski references are hilarious. But the second time I saw it though, like I kind of had a different take on it because
you started to get it, right?
Yeah, like he's probably the most tragic character in the film, where like he literally feels like if I literally had aimed my axe 2 inches, upwards, then this all could have been avoided. And so like he has to shoulder all that guilt and he has to drink, which I mean obviously it's played for comedy, but there's definitely an emotional core there that people are going to kind of get lost with the comedy that's kind of in your face about Fat Thor. but I mean, like, again, not the way I would have done it, but like at the end of the day, I see why they did it, because they're embracing the full like Sam Raimi-esque camp like on Thor, which is interesting, I guess.
When I first watched Endgame and Thor, and I saw Thor, I was like, he had the belly, and I was like, holy shit, they're doing that. Damn, they got some balls, But then afterwards, I don't know. I didn't like Thor at all, and when I first saw it, it was like even at the end, it was like, this is terrible. And then I still don't like it as much as I would like, but I totally get it now.
Yeah,
and it's the second time I watched it, I started to understand, like, Fat Thor, he's using comedy just like in Ragnarok. He's using comedy just like in Ragnarok as like a way to,
it's a coping mechanism.
Situation he's in.
Yeah.
And the way that's handled is like he needed something to solidify his transformation a little more. Like he has a talk with his mother. Really all we get, and he still acts kind of like an idiot.
Yeah.
And I would have liked him to act a little bit less like an idiot, especially at the end.
Yep.
To kind of, yes, even though, like, of course, just being fat doesn't make you not worthy. Just being depressed doesn't make you not worthy. But he still kind of acts kind of not worthy, and it just kind of frustrated me, especially when he was with the Guardians at the end, and he was still kind of being an idiot, like, oh yeah, you're the captain. It's like, no, I'm the captain. It's like, no, we know you're the captain, something like that. And it's like, I wish that was a little bit more serious and it delivered a little more closure, even though we have Guardians of the Galaxy 3 to expect.
Yeah, exactly.
It felt like such a finale for all these characters that it felt like Thor was kind of shoved to, like, the side, along with Hulk too. Hulk didn't get any closure at all.
Yeah, dude, like that's one thing. Like, I mean, like I agree with you. Where if they had a little more, gravitas to Thor being like that, instead of just like being the butt of the jokes. Like, if they had like some funny shit happen in the beginning, and then like when he has like, I don't know, some kind of like maybe some kind of expositional thing with his mother when he goes back to 2013 to Asgard. If he had like, he bears a soul where it's like, I'm a failure, like, and they say that line once, but then Rocket Raccoon comes in after he stabs Natalie Portman in the butt to get the Infinity Stone out. If they lingered in that really tragic part of that character, I probably would be more okay with Fat Thor. But like, it just seemed like it, like, I mean, obviously we can get the emotional arcs from it like after the fact, but I mean, I don't know. Like,
it's just not handled well.
Yeah,
in my opinion. I agree. The one scene that really frustrated me, that really didn't like made me not like the character, was because like I want my heroes, just like in general, in comic books in general, heroes are supposed to be like these larger than life people that are supposed to like surpass obstacles, like,
Yeah.
because they're heroes, And I was like, Thor's got this moment of like he's down, and I get it, and he has this talk with Rocket, and then Rocket is like, "Listen, you have to man up, like you have to get this shit done because people are counting on you, and you've lost people, but I've lost people that can be brought back, so get it together."
Yeah.
And then Thor's like, "All right, I can do this, and then right the last second he's like, "I can't do this," and he runs away, and it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, oh, you were so close. It was so close to being good, in my opinion. Again, it's just in my opinion, man. Like, people can like it, and it was kind of frustrating to me. You could have still had the mom scene, and it would still worked.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
And so like before we got in the tangent with Thor, the other character I didn't really like the way they did him was Bruce Banner. Like, honestly, I think they lost a lot of emotional mileage by just having Professor Hulk be Professor Hulk immediately and not have any kind of like lead up or build up or like finality to that character. Because like I mean think about it, in Infinity War, Hulk is afraid to come out because he got his ass kicked by Thanos and he's sick of being like the physical solution to all of their problems. And so if they had like a scene like the terrible film here, but you remember X-Men Apocalypse?
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, absolutely terrible. But like I think a scene like like in the end of the movie, like the really cringy like inside the mind scene where like they're going through like memories and like they're fighting Apocalypse in the mind. Remember that scene?
I like that. That was not bad. Like,
for
Apocalypse
sure.
comes in and he's like turns giant and he crushes Charles Xavier, and then Phoenix comes out. I thought it was all right.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like if they had a thing like that where like they depict not like an emotional battle with the Hulk, but like just a conversation where like Bruce Banner like goes within and he's like instead of like something like I spent 19 months in a gamma lab and I did this to myself. No, like you should have had that be an emotional arc where Bruce actually, in his mind talks to the Hulk, and then the Hulk basically gives up the control of his body, like, willingly. That would be so much more impactful, I think.
I think so, too. It was definitely, like, I feel like they had so little time that they would have liked to do. I feel like that was one thing I really wanted to see, though.
Yeah.
Because it just came out of nowhere. Like, they literally cut to, like, so who can know about time travel? And it's like, boom, it cuts to Professor Hulk, and it's like, wait, and then he just explains it in like a second, like, we decided to join minds. And it was weird because in Infinity War, I didn't like Bruce Banner or Hulk in Infinity War because Bruce Banner was too comedic, and I like my Bruce Banner kind of brooding. But they were like, it's like, snap out of it, Hulk, what are you doing? You need to get out of here. And Hulk's like, no, and then eventually resolve the Wakanda fight on his own. And I felt like that was leading up to, like, as you were saying, like some sort of confrontation, some sort of trying to reach this cathartic moment with the Hulk, I guess. And then eventually we never see that. And I wish we did, because that would be kind of cool to watch.
Yeah, I totally agree, because that adds another finality to the character arc, where literally the entire arc of the Hulk, even though like the Edward Norton Hulk is a complete abortion of a movie, like the whole thing is like trying to find inner peace with yourself. And if Bruce Banner actually physically did that and found inner peace, and that's why he's able to exist with the mind of Bruce Banner and the body of the Hulk, that would have been just so much more like gratifying, instead of like him just be a muscular Shrek.
Yeah, definitely. I feel also like I don't know. I feel like there's so many comedic moments that didn't really need to be there. I don't know. It was to me, I guess. It was like I felt like Hulk was a little too comedic
when Hulk dabbed.
Especially the Hulk dab. I mean, it was funny, but it was also like it kind of took away from the dire situation they were in. I felt it was kind of weird, and I wish it was just taking a little bit more serious than it was.
Yeah, I totally agree, because again, I don't think it was terrible, but like there was just so many other opportunities to give Bruce Banner like a concluding arc, instead of him just like he like Hulk is always shit on for being a complete side character, and they have him do more in Ragnarok than any other movie, and then in Infinity War, they set up the premise beautifully where, you know, he can't reconcile the issues of the Hulk, and in this movie, it should have been an emotional arrival for Bruce Banner as opposed to just Professor Hulk. But I mean, like he was fine. Like I just really wish that we got something more gratifying out of it.
I feel like Professor Hulk was the most meh part of the movie.
Yeah,
in my opinion, I think that was definitely the most like, all right, you know, Professor Hulk, you know, and he had cool moments, but it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. But all right, so we shit on him a little bit. Let's before we get off the Endgame topic, what's one arc that you know really liked or you know really loved, I guess, from Endgame?
That's a tough one because I love Cap and I love Tony's arcs.
Yeah, well, of course, I mean, those are
of course, like they're like the main two, you know.
Yeah.
Again, I love Natasha's too. Hers was great.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved Captain Marvel's arc. I'm just kidding. You know, It's funny because I see her and Okoye in like all the posters, and it's like they were like never in the movie. It was funny.
Yeah,
it was funny to me, like, you know. Anyways, love Tony's arc of like, you know, finding his way into, you know, it's just he's always like the self-centered character, and eventually he's able to become this selfless one, while Cap is able to learn a bit more because he's always been like this person that does everything for everyone. So he finally decides to do something for himself, and I think that's also pretty beautiful.
I totally agree. Yeah. Like, goddamn, dude. Like, honestly, like that last shot of him finally getting to be with Peggy was
so
like,
great.
Yeah, it really was beautiful. Like, honestly, like all the flaws in the movie aside, like I love the movie, but it's riddled with plot holes and all that stuff. But goddamn, like the emotional finality of seeing Captain actually get his final, like, you know, his swan song was just awesome.
It was great, and it wasn't even dealt as like a scene of like you're supposed to cry or you're supposed to feel like happy. It's kind of like this moment of like you're supposed to feel like acceptance, like this is it, and this is like it's just bliss, you know. It's like this moment of just, you know, everything's good, and you feel good. And that's like how the movie ends. It's like, yes, yeah, he finally got it. Not like, oh my god, he finally got it. It didn't have to be this emotional.
Yeah.
It just became like this.
Yeah.
You know, like this cathartic moment. I just really like that.
Yeah, exactly. I also love the thing with after he gives Sam the shield, and like Sam's like, well, do you want to tell me about her? He's like, I don't think I'm going to. And like that just like it shows that, like, you know, the fact that he was able to exist with Peggy was enough for him for the rest of his life. Like, he didn't need to like say like she is the most beautiful thing this side of the poppy fields or whatever the fuck. Like just being with the woman that he loves was enough gratification for him. And like, and goddamn, like
it was good. Yeah, definitely. That's a great way of putting that statement.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I just heard that and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's great.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
Yeah. So good. And last thing, first of all, I just love the fact that Tony was the one to do the sacrifice, because I was sure that Cap was going to sacrifice himself.
Me too, dude. Me too. I was 100%. Like, oh god.
Yeah, 100% convinced.
I thought Tony was going to retire, man. He was like, oh, it's over for him. But like, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like I just loved. Well, first of all, Pepper Potts' arc were like, you know, encouraging Tony to rest, like, you know, in the beginning of the movie, and then she legitimately is like telling him to let go, and he's allowed to die and he's allowed to rest. First of all, the performance that Gwyneth Paltrow gave was so subtle. It's like, you know, when he's sitting there and is like, you know, Tony, look at me, it's okay, like you can rest, and is like smiling and is like, you know, laughing with him and like trying to encourage him to go, and then once he's finally gone, you know, she loses it, of course. Like that, like, God, that's some
fuck.
Dude,
that's so good.
It's so good. Okay, and people shit on, like, you know, the Russos, like, oh, they're bad actors, directors. Bullshit. Like that
scene
like,
was fucking gold, dude.
Dude, that 30-second exchange, literally, it's a fucking medium shot of Pepper looking over Tony's shoulder, and like that had so much gravitas to it. Like goddamn, like that. moment still haunts me.
Yeah, it does. I saw it I was scrolling through YouTube and I saw like someone posted the pirated version of the scene. I was like, oh fuck it, I'll give this guy a click. And so I decided to watch it again, man. And damn, I almost freaking started crying, dude. It's just so good, man.
Dude, I know. Actually, unexpectedly, tears were shed when Ant-Man goes back. He comes out of the quantum realm and he sees his daughter for the first time.
Like, it was so good too. I started tearing up. I didn't like bawl, but it was so good.
Yeah,
and it's so great to see Paul Rudd give like emotional performances.
Yeah,
because he never gets the chance to. It's so great because he's such a good actor too.
Exactly. He's being Brian Fantana or like something like that.
Man, dude. So I'm glad he gets like his due, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Something not Endgame.
Yeah, exactly. So, looking forward for 2019, man. Most anticipated films. What do you got?
Oh my God, that's a tough one because in my schedule it's all superhero movies, and I gotta say, Far From Home is one that I'm very excited for. I wasn't excited for it as much before.
What changed?
It definitely changed because I saw it and I was like, oh, this looks all right. And then Jake Gyllenhaal, bro, man, like, dude, if I was gay, Jake Gyllenhaal, man, 100%, 100%. And dude, like, then this trailer came out and it totally made sense now why the movie kind of felt a bit empty, the first trailer, and it was because they were hiding all the Endgame stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, Peter learning to cope, and that's why everyone's saying that Mysterio kind of becomes an uncle figure to Peter. It's because, man, Mysterio is going to try to step up and kind of be Peter's mentor, only to obviously bag and a villain, and Peter's going to have to stop him.
Yeah,
I'm just really excited for that movie. Like the second trailer definitely sold me. It was a little more comedy than I would have liked, but of course, there's two different things that they're trying to tell, and I think it definitely needed.
Yeah,
the movie has like a little more, I don't know, like depression, I guess. Like I hope it feels a little more, I feel, I don't know. I want the characters to have like a trauma. You know what I mean? Like, I want
exactly.
them to feel that.
Like the preceding, like, and this is something that like in the MCU you see it very, very rarely, but you never really feel like the preceding films are consequential. Where like, you feel the ripples of what happened in the preceding movies. So like I'm skeptical of Far From Home because I have some different problems with it. But like I like the fact that like they're showing Spider-Man reeling from the fact that a person that he looked up to is now gone, and the line with Happy where it's like Tony wouldn't have even thought about doing what he did if he didn't think you were going to be here after he was gone. That was a really great really great loaded premise for sure.
I'm so glad Happy's still in the universe, man.
Yeah, me too, man, for sure. John Favreau. First of all, John Favreau really he made a name for himself with that first Iron Man movie, man.
He's so talented too. He can freaking direct. He can act, dude. Like, have you seen Chef? That movie is fucking great,
dude. I watched a movie on Netflix like back in like college or some shit. Like that movie is actually very, very good. It's like his passion project.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Like, I didn't expect it to be like so good, but it is. I feel like it's a little underrated. It's not like amazing. It's not perfect, but it's really, really good. And I really enjoyed it. So.
Yeah, exactly. It's subtle and it's fun, and like you can tell like the passion just dripping out of it. Where like you can tell it's a movie that he wanted to make for years, which is like really cool.
Definitely.
Yeah, like but the thing with Far From Home though, you're gonna fucking kill me for this. So please don't end the friendship or hang up on me if I say this.
Oh, is this the inner high top coming out?
No. I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man's my favorite superhero. I'm still gonna see Far From Home and I'll probably enjoy it. But the thing I have a problem with is the whole thing with the elementals that you see like in the trailer, like the water guy, the rock guy, the fire guy. Yeah. Can I give my speculation for the movie?
Yeah. It's a speculation. So like you're gonna say the real thing.
All right, cool. All right, so this is what I think is gonna happen. Basically, so you know how like Fury brings Spider-Man to Mysterio. It's like he's from another universe. Like the Thanos' snap like ripped a hole in time or whatever.
Which is totally probably a lie.
Yeah, it's a lie. So what I think happened is basically Mysterio is somebody who's watched the Avengers his entire life, almost like a less malevolent version of Anton Vanko from Iron Man 2, where like he's watched people, uh, exceed all of his expectations for himself in every way. And so all he's wanted to do is be a superhero, but the only thing he can do is really make illusions and shit. So I think he, reached out to Fury and like showed him some genuinely amazing special effects he was able to create. Like, he looks like Thor when he's like flying around with all the green beams and stuff. And so I think that he's the one who's basically creating all of these like, illusions and everything. And he's like basically wreaking havoc on the city because, he's a special effects master. And then he kind of like cons Spider-Man into like, I don't know, maybe like not giving him his suit, but something where like he'll be able to like frame Spider-Man for doing something in Germany that has to do with the elemental guys. And then basically that'll be like the inciting conflict for the movie where like, Spider-Man gets framed by Mysterio, I think.
Oh, really? I didn't think about the Spider-Man getting framed. I thought you were going to talk about how you didn't like the elementals.
No, I'm fine with it. I'm even fine with Mysterio, making those things. But I don't know. Like, maybe I should have to watch the trailer. I've only seen the trailer once, so maybe I should have to watch it again. But I don't know. Like, the fact that like we don't see Uncle Ben have any kind of ramification on Peter Parker's life, and then we see like this guy who's gonna fuck him over, like have a effect on his life. I get it. It's gonna have a great arc for Spider-Man to like be more cautious going forward after this movie's over. But yeah, like I'm kind of torn on it. But I mean, I will say that I agree with you. Jake Gyllenhaal's a complete smoke, bro. So like,
when you watch the trailer, the Far From Home one. Jake Gyllenhaal, Mysterio. I keep calling him Jake Gyllenhaal because that's his face. But Mysterio says to Peter, he's like, in this line of work, people die, but it's my responsibility to do it or something like that.
Yeah.
Like if they make Peter say like, that's something like my uncle said, because like he said right. The word responsibility. This is the perfect moment. Like if he doesn't say it, I will actually be disappointed because they wrote the word in there like that. I don't think that word was even in. It's like if they have that, like man, that's gonna be so good. It'll please the fans.
No, for
it
sure.
makes all the MCU people happy. Like they got to put it in there, man. In that specific scene too.
No, I totally agree. Actually, I didn't think about that before. Where it's like, Peter like tears up and is like, that reminds me of somebody. Like that would be actually, you're right. That'd be a beautiful moment. I just hope they fucking do that. Like, please, for the love of God.
Because I feel like at this point, if you hear all the fans saying like, please mention him, it just feels like now it's just kind of like your own thing. Like, fuck you guys, we're not gonna do that. Like,
Yeah. It's like
because it's so essential to the character, and I get it not being in Homecoming because it really kind of doesn't need to be there. But now that his new mentor is dead, then it's like, why not actually, mention it? Because I feel like I get like, in Civil War when he mentions, people, if you don't do things, if you don't do whatever, that Civil War line where he kind of drops it.
Yeah, he basically says the Iron Man, it's like when you can do the things that I can, but you don't, and then bad things happen. They happen because of you.
Yeah, and I thought that was great, and that's like that's all I needed, And then Homecoming has that little drop, like, hey man, with everything that's happened to May, this can't happen. But it's almost like at this point, it's like, why don't you just say the name? Like, are you afraid of it? Like, come on, man.
Yeah, like
it's just weird.
I'm kind of wondering
it's
why
it's not 100% necessary, but
yeah,
it's just like it's weird.
Yeah, it's almost like it seems like they're intentionally avoiding it, like for no other reason except for to not mention it. Where it's like, yeah, like it's kind of weird. Like why wouldn't they just even like say his name or like show even like a picture of him? Like it'd be a cringy scene, but like he picks up a picture of like him, May, and Ben. Like if they did something like that, then cringe aside, like that would actually give some finality to his character. But you're absolutely right. Like if a thing happens with Mysterio where that kind of motivates a call back to Uncle Ben, that'd be actually really, really impactful. I hope they do that. I really hope they do.
Dude, I hope they do that too, man. I heard that line and I was like, it has to happen. It has to, please. Yeah. So I'm gonna cheer if he does say something like that.
Hell yeah. All right, so we talked about Spider-Man. Another anticipated movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the new Tarantino movie with Leo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt.
Oh my God, that movie looks amazing. Like I haven't heard much of it from recently, but that trailer, God, it was so good. It was like, oh my God. Just Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio in a movie together. It's like, what can you do but orgasm, you know? And Margot Robbie, oh my God, dude.
And like the entire cast, like Al Pacino, James Marsden,
oh God, yeah,
Walton Goggins, like they literally stacked the cast where I'm going to be orgasming for 2.5 hours straight.
Honestly, and James Marsden, I'm so happy that James Marsden is getting an actual good movie, you know,
and not Sonic the Hedgehog.
No, not Sonic the Hedgehog. What do you think about that movie? It's like, oh God.
Oh man,
you can call it a movie.
That's a great way to put it. Like, you can't call it a movie. And dude, this is the thing that really grinds my gears. So, first of all, like, if you look at the character modeling, like, let's wind the clock back. You know, as a Joker would say, let's wind the clocks back to December. So,
wind the clocks back. Yeah. So
let's wind the clocks back 1 year.
That was really good. All right. Yeah.
But basically, you know when that first poster dropped and like the silhouette
with the
of
sexy thighs,
dude, like,
turned me into a furry in like an instant.
Dude, I'm about to go to the convention, man. I got my pink bunny suit on lock. But dude, like, so you look at that silhouette and like, first of all, it's a ridiculous premise. A hedgehog moves, 2 inches an hour or some shit in like a straight line. And like the fact that like you're trying to anthropomorphize a hedgehog running at the speed of light, but also try and make him still cartoony. It's just like the conflicting tones in that thing are so weird because like you trade up his like his hexagonal like trapezoid looking shoes in the comics or in the animated series of the games, and then you also put in human knees, thighs, and calves with forearms, but the torso looks cartoonish. But you don't have him have actual hedgehog quills. But then you have him have like proportional face. Like it just like the character modeling of Sonic is legitimately abysmal, and the fact that like they dropped that trailer, thinking it wasn't going to get some blowback from fans is suspect. And this is my conspiracy theory tinfoil hat kind of thing I'm going to do here. I think that they dropped that on purpose, and basically they're trying to generate hype for the movie for having that animation look so bad.
I was thinking that because, like, I mean, I don't know, because, here's the thing, right? And here's where I'm going to try to add to that, is that the design looked so bad.
Oh, yeah.
And
he has teeth. He has human teeth. He's nicer teeth than an orthodontist.
And then he said, and then the some guy was like, listen, we heard you. We're going to get a new model, and we're going to still push this movie out somehow, and it's like, wait a second. So you're going to model a new model, animate it, composite it into the film. It's like, how is that even possible? How are you going to get that done in such short a time? And it's like, it's two things. One, you're going to kill the animators, which if you're doing that, like, no one's going to watch the movie anyway, so don't do it. And two, It's like, then there has to be something going on, because like nobody can be that dumb. Like, up with the concept art for Sonic the Hedgehog, like the movie, design of the character, he needs like somebody needs to go, man. Like either like it's probably one of the higher ups that was like, I don't want it to look that cartoony. I want it to look like a sexy furry creature that I want to fuck, So I'm just that's what I'm thinking. I'm sorry, did I curse? Am I not supposed to curse here?
No, what are you talking about? I've said fuck like 45 times in this podcast.
Oh, okay, all right, I got you. It's just that YouTube monetization thing going on,
Oh, please.
So yeah, and it's like, it's weird, but then also there were leaks of like the promotional material for the movie, and you have like that actual Sonic, like the ugly looking Sonic in there, and it's like weird. So it's, are they actually gonna make it like that, or? And then why was the promo stuff with the old Sonic? It's weird. But just in general, the movie looks terrible, and I'm sad that James Marsden, for some reason, got attached to that again.
I know.
What the hell? Like, it's just weird.
Yeah, dude, like he's a good actor, man. Like,
he's a good actor, dude. Dude, he was so underutilized in the X-Men movies.
Oh,
too.
Yeah, dude, Scott Summers, he was great. Like, And it just sucks that like they had him just like be like, you know, after X2 of course, like, you know, he was like, even in X1, like X2 he had actually a pretty decent emotional arc with Jean, but like X1 and X3 he was completely dispensable, which really made me sad because Cyclops is like one of the best characters in the X-Men in my opinion.
He's probably my favorite character, honestly. I love his arcs. You know, when he turns a little evil and shit, that's like, oh man, it's great. I really dig it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm always sad when he gets treated super poorly.
Yeah.
Tool, you know, so it's kind of frustrating. In the chat, it's like, Glass. What'd you think about Glass?
Glass, whew. I first of all, let me preface this. I think Unbreakable is a masterpiece. Like, I legitimately believe that is one of the best crafted movies of the last 20 years. Like, and I think it's a brilliant retelling of the Superman mythology. Like, yeah, I love that movie. Having said that, I don't think that you should have linked Split to Unbreakable. I really don't, because yes, it had a great fan service moment, but like, I don't know, like it really brought me out of the. It really brought me out of the movie. Where like I was excited to see David Dunn again for sure and hear the awesome theme from Unbreakable, but I just didn't. I don't know. Like I liked it better when it was kind of like a sci-fi caper movie, and then with Glass. Legitimately, the only reason why M. Night Shyamalan wrote that movie is because he wanted to just introduce more lore. He didn't want to investigate the characters of anybody that he made. He just wanted to make, well, two things. Wanted to make lore, like a more expensive lore, and then put a twist into said lore. And like, you've seen it, right?
Of course, it's terrible.
Dude, like, the twist in that movie, like, it
Super
makes
bad.
the rest, it's not even that as bad. It makes the rest of the movie like legitimately not make sense. Like oh my god, I never like legitimately like that twist. Oh my, like fucking Sarah Paulson's character like makes less than no sense after that, like that turn is realized. Like, oh my god,
it's weird, man. Like, yeah, I heard that the twist was, there was a twist, and then I thought the twist was that what is it called? That I can't remember this guy. Well, Dr. Glass, Jackson, you know, he caused the train accident.
yeah.
The Horde's father, David Dunn. No, not David Dunn. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. And I thought that was the twist. And I was like, that's not that bad of a twist. Like, all right.
Yeah.
And then eventually, like, every literal main character just dies. And it's like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, and dude,
This
like
really convoluted, terrible. Oh, it was always like a whole secret society. Like, it's so bad. Like, fuck. And then it just cuts randomly to like a scene where people are in a restaurant and they all stand up, and it's like, what's going on? It's weird.
yeah, dude, it was oddly hopeful when it really shouldn't have been. Like, if you're gonna stick on like the whole disenfranchised theme, why would you have the movie end like in a very hopeful and like triumphant way? It just didn't really make any sense.
Yeah, it didn't. It should have been like, oh god, we're screwed. Not like, oh man, now we're gonna attract more super people, which actually makes no sense because then more super people are gonna get hunted down. Like,
Exactly.
it's weird. It's
My god. And like you said, like they should have been like scared, like, oh, okay, we're fucked. And then they have like, you know, a scene where like they see people flying or something like that away, like people can actually fly or like run at super speed or like, you know, teleport or whatever. And then like in the middle of an empty street, you see one kid like walk, like, you know, from the back, and like, you know, you zoom out and that's the end of the movie. Something like that where it's like, okay, you know, there's a hint of some kind of quote unquote rebellion happening, but it's not as cringy as like, we're all going to stand up in unison now. I don't know. Like,
it was weird. I didn't vibe with it that much, man.
Oh,
It was yeah, it was so odd.
and dude, like M. Night, like honestly, like I really want to like just pick his brain because like what is he going for?
I don't know, because the thing is that he makes such good movies, you know, and then
When
out of
he's
nowhere
on,
he
he's
makes
on,
such
man.
terrible movies.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the hell is going on? So it's like either he does it on purpose and he wants his career to just fluctuate or die, or he's just I have no clue. I actually have no clue. I think he's a good director.
Oh, for sure, dude. Like
but his
Unbreakable,
writing
like
is so fucking bad.
dude, like Unbreakable. Some of the direction in there, some of those like those really really long takes that are like 4 or 5 minutes. It's like an old style like a filmmaking. It felt like a film from like the fucking 70s, and like it felt so. Like it felt so nostalgic, but it also felt so current, like in terms of like the political like things I have to say. Like, dude, like where did that M. Night Shyamalan go?
Oh man, then he went on and made Devil. It's like what the hell?
Well, I mean, he produced it. He didn't direct it, but
Oh right. Oh, but wasn't that going to be like a series of his? Like he
yeah.
never happened. That's sad.
There are 6 people in an elevator, and one of them is the devil. You couldn't have had one just be like a serial killer or something like that. Like it had to be the devil. Like
it was just so weird.
I
actually saw that movie and I was, oh god, no man. Yeah, I mean, I wish he made better movies. He has the ability to. I know that, but
yeah. Like fuck. Like he's gotten the best 2 performances of Bruce Willis that he's ever put on film, like out of Bruce Willis. Like and Bruce
definitely.
Bruce Willis like recently has been a fucking just brick wall of like emotionless nothingness. And like M. Night got like 2 really, really subtle performances out of him. Like where is that M. Night Shyamalan? Like that's what I want.
Did you see his cameo in Glass?
Where was he again? I forget.
He's in like the shop where David Dunn worked and his son.
Oh,
he was like,
you're right.
It was so cringy.
Oh my god! I wish
so...
I've forgotten about that, and you reminded me of that shit. Oh god, that's terrible. Like oh man, like I just someone has to like strap M. Night to a chair. Well, strap him to a chair and sit him down and say, "Look, M. Night, you've made a couple good movies. Lady in the Water was a complete abortion. The Village started off strong and ended up really, really, really weird.
Like waterboarding him too.
The Happening, we're not going to talk about that. After Earth, you know what? There's no salvaging this. but like someone's got to say, look, M. Night, you don't.
I forgot After Earth.
Oh my! That's another 2.5 hour podcast. like I've been thinking like for my podcast, like a complete aside here. I want to start doing like I literally just rip movies apart with like a couple of people. Like we'll like do like After Earth or like.
Honestly, that'd be so fun, dude.
Oh my god!
After Earth is so bad.
Yeah, maybe we can get some of the Film Hub guys to make cameos on here, like come in like tag teams and shit on this movie. But anyway, like. God, someone's got to sit M. Night down and be like, dude, you don't have to have a twist to have a good, satisfying, emotionally charged caper. You don't need a twist. Like, you just don't. Like, the twist worked really, really well for Unbreakable and The Sixth Sense because he made the movie to actually motivate that twist. Like, for example, in Get Out with Jordan Peele, like, if you watch that movie after the twist is revealed and the turn happens, everything in the movie actually makes sense. Why is Rose being shady to the cop? Why is that guy referencing black culture and saying they have black mold in the basement? Why does that guy have a massive picture of Jesse Owens on his wall when his grandfather lost to him? Like, there are so many things that make sense after you see the twist, but with M. Night's recent movies, like none of it makes any sense.
Exactly. I feel like now it's like he thinks it's like his thing, so he has to add a twist when it's completely unnecessary. And that's just kind of a dumb way to go about it because most of the time when you write a movie, when you write something, it should be to make sense and not just to like write it because, someone's telling you you're the twist guy. So write a twist in there. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it gives me a headache because like, dude, like you said, got directing and like, getting emotionally charged performances out of actors. Like, God, like he really is a talented guy. I think he has an aneurysm whenever he writes a script.
God, dude, honestly, oh man, I feel so bad because his movies are so great, but some of them are so shit. But honestly, even the bad movies have like some enjoyment factor. Like they're so bad.
Yeah.
You can just enjoy them because they're terrible.
Yeah.
I just really don't like that one. That one's just trash.
Well, okay, so what enjoyment can you find out of The Last Airbender?
Oh my god, I've never watched the Avatar show.
Oh really? Wow, that's surprising from you. You're like a hand drawn or like anime kind of guy. I'm surprised. Wow.
And like I want to get into it because
it's fantastic.
yeah, it looks like a style I like. But at the moment, I haven't watched it. So I watched The Last Airbender way back then, and before I wasn't like an analysis guy. So I was like, this movie ain't so bad, And then I watched it again, and I was like, this movie is such shit. Like, it's so fucking bad. It was unbearable. Like, the acting is such garbage that I was like, holy fuck, how did I enjoy this? They cast the main character was not even an actor. He was just a kid who could do martial arts. It's like, did no one think that maybe that's a bad idea? It's insane. I have actually no clue how anyone came up with that movie.
Dude, so this is the new thing they just patented last week. I'm not sure you've heard about this. I might be breaking the news on this. There's a thing they just invented. It's called a stunt double. Like, basically, you have the actor. It's a crazy idea. Hear me out here.
Which is it that thing that Brie Larson does all on her own? Sorry. I had to. I saw the opportunity. I jumped at it.
Oh my god, we can talk about that a little bit too. But dude, like the fact that they got like a martial arts master, which I mean, it's good for him. That's the one saving grace I give that movie. Like the in camera fight stuff was actually pretty sweet. But why can't you just have that and have a decent actor play the fucking main character of the movie? Why do you have to have like a robot play him? Like my favorite part of the movie, I think it was like I forget this shit, but like it was like in the spirit realm, and like Aang says to like one of the I think Avatar spirits or whatever, do you have a spirit garden? And the guy responds, yes, we have a spirit garden. And guess what happens next? They go to the spirit garden.
No way! That's crazy.
Jesus,
that's some great writing.
Oh my god! Like, spare me. Yeah, that movie.
I remember the fights being all slow motion, like they were trying to be Zack Snyder.
Oh my! Well, there's only one Snyder, man. There's only one Zachary Edward James Taylor Snyder.
Did you hear the whole controversy right now where Zack Snyder liked to post on Vero that was like the Russo brothers stole from Zack Snyder?
Like,
dude, how could you do that? It's so dumb.
Yeah. I think I like when you retweeted that or like whatever. Like I saw that shit. Like, okay, they literally took the most by the books shots. Like, okay, the protagonists are in a desolate area and looking down on the antagonist. There's a big flash of light after a character has a sacrifice. People are crying when someone dies. There's a funeral scene. Like, does Zack Snyder really believe that he invented all of those things? Like,
it's crazy. I don't understand and what's funny is that people are actually defending Snyder. Like, he likes everything that he's like added at, like, because it's like someone adds you and it's like, all right, I'm gonna like it because I'm added. Like, that doesn't mean like nobody has like a bot that likes everything. That makes no sense.
Dude, it
was pretty disappointing.
Dude, have a little bit of fucking self-awareness. Like, it's...
Yeah, honestly, it's just... Oh, God. There's still people going on about The Last Jedi. There's still people going on about the release the Snyder Cut.
Oh, God.
It's like, man, like, I get it, but also, like, there has to be something more important to do with your life.
Exactly. Like, you wake up every single day, and you're like, what can I
I'm gonna
about...
fucking... fight somebody on the internet.
Exactly.
It's crazy. Like you just go to the Warner Brothers Twitter account, you see all the posts, and you see like the dimensions, and it's like, release the Snyder Cut, man. How dare you do that to Daddy Zach? Release the Snyder Cut. Like, it's insane.
Wait, dude, did you see my like I forget if I tweeted this or DM'd it to you guys. You have Snapchat, right?
Don't actually.
Really? Oh shit. Well, like filters and Snapchat.
Yeah, I deleted it.
Yeah, like filters. You can like put like crazy eyes or like horns on you. And so someone was like chirping me in my Thanos video and saying like, like this is fucking watered down dark side. If Zach got to make his fucking Justice League movie, this would be like, Thanos on steroids. Like, fuck you and fuck this video. And then like I commented, "Oh baby, you're gonna make me cry. What poem was that from?"
It was so good.
Like, but like, and then
yeah,
like. I should have posted this picture of this kid. I really should have, but I'm a pussy. Like, so the Snapchat filter, there's this thing where like it makes your eyes bloodshot, sunken in, and like crossed, like you legitimately are having like an aneurysm. And then I put in like the you know the SpongeBob meme where it's like capital letter, lowercase letter, capital letter, lowercase letter. You know that shit. Yeah. I do release the Snyder cut, and it's like my face like all fucked up. And like
you should post that. You should post that, man.
Dude, but like honestly, like this kid probably is not a day over 12, so like I really didn't want to like, you know, absolutely obliterate him with that picture because like
yeah,
that's like it's not even like a mean. That's legitimately mean. But I will say, as a third party, that's like, oh god, that'd be delicious. God damn it. So, someone's got to
honestly though.
Yeah.
Honestly, a lot of the people that actually are in the release the Snyder Cut thing are like probably older than 16.
Yeah, actually that's true. I mean,
actually probably most of them are like 30, I think, because it's like if you see the people who went out to the Warner Brothers, you know, studios and they like put themselves out there with the banner like release the Snyder Cut, they all looked like they were 20, 30.
Like
it's like, yeah, I don't think it's just kids at this point. It's like adults, man, and that's what kind of scares me a little bit.
All right, we got to talk about this a little bit. This will be one of the last things. I don't want to keep you for too long, but you know, you have a life, and I kind of have a life, but not really. But
okay.
but
chemistry.
Yeah, so,
that's a life, right?
It's half a life, I guess. But anyway, so well, let's do a couple of these things. BVS, what do you think about it?
Batman v Superman, I think it's like slightly grown on me, but I still think it's pretty bad. I just now like I think of it and it's like, you know, Batman v Superman isn't the worst movie ever, but it's still pretty terrible. Yeah. And that's I think where I leave it.
Yeah. I would agree with that. And like there are some things in there like visually that are like, you know, genuinely like stunning. Like he really does some like beautiful stuff. But like I want that beauty in like a camera move or a scene or like a you know, some kind of, you know, soliloquy or something like that. I don't want a slow motion zoom in on a medium shot of Superman being touched by, you know, a bunch of people like during like the Day of the Dead. Like I want an actual motivating scene to like, you know, to motivate that beautiful moment. Like, and because
it's funny.
Yeah.
Is that the movie has a bunch of I was just about to say, isn't that like a Nerdwriter video that the movie has a bunch of moments but not scenes?
Well, and so like, and honestly, this is why I hate the Nerdwriter, because like that's something that I felt, but I'm not nearly as insightful or eloquent enough to put it like that. Like when I first saw BVS, like I thought I'm just like, this feels so disconnected. Like I don't feel like I'm really watching like, you know, a setting. I don't feel like I'm watching like an event. I feel like I'm watching like, you know, like you have random memories when you're chilling, like you remember like a moment of something like years ago. That's how it felt in that movie. I'm just like, why is it like this, and why don't I like it? Because like the visuals are superb, and then Nerdwriter, that pretentious asshole, but goddamn makes a good point sometimes. Like he, you know, it's moments over scenes, and I, you know, kick myself in the ass because I wish I thought of that first. But like legitimately, like they have instants that like carry the movie. And when the bedrock of your movie is a bunch of, it's basically a montage if you take all the other like motivating scenes out of it. When your movie is the foundation, when the foundation your movie is based upon is a montage of just different clips, it's hard for me to even like sympathize with it or like even relate to it. But yeah, like I like the visuals he does, and like it looks pretty, but like goddamn. I was
just about to say that if you think about it, actually, the best shots of his are just that like scenes in the movie that don't make actually any narrative sense. They're just there. So it's like, for example, his better shots are just shots that are like people looking at things, and just the heavy like Hans Zimmer score just starts pouring out, you know. And it's like, wait a second, like that's weird. And then if you actually see the movie, like actual dialogue in the movie, it's actually super basic.
Oh yeah.
And I was just thinking that, like, it was like, wait a second, because everyone's like, this movie has such beautiful shots, and it's like, well, yeah, but the most beautiful shots are just characters walking.
Yeah, exactly.
Like actual, you know, when the dialogue is going on, For example, there's this one shot when they're like in a conference or something in the Daily Planet, which you never understand what the Daily Planet is because they all they have in that movie in the Daily Planet is just like exposition, and then you never actually get to see their lives in there.
You so Lawrence Fishburne tell a joke, yeah.
Water is wet. Oh, brilliant! I love the Daily Planet. So,
forgot about that.
They're having this conference, and then Lois Lane comes in, and then it's just this really weird, like I think it was like handheld cam. This random exchange of shots, and it's just so kind of jarring. It feels as if the movie's like rushing for some reason, even though it's so long. It's really weird. I don't know what it is, but yeah, the shots look really just. I mean, I don't even say basic is a bad thing because most movies have like normal shots, and it's a normal shot. But what I mean is that people are like praising like the shots sometimes, and it's like, but that's just a few of them. Like the movie's.
Yeah.
And if I think about, like, say, Endgame, which just came out, not to compare Marvel and DC, but, even dialogue shots are really interesting to look at, just in general. Like, I don't know, like, there's something about it. Like, the camera keeps, like, spinning, and it's just, like, it's just interesting to see. And the lighting is always great. I don't know. I can just gush about Marvel for, like, ever.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. What do you think about Ant-Man and the Wasp? I've never had this conversation with you.
I think it's my least favorite Marvel movie.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I really don't like it. I think. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, I think about Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I legitimately have my basic test for a movie that I can remember. Can I recite the plot in 3 or less sentences? And I don't think I can for Ant-Man and the Wasp because like I have to be like, okay. Scott Lang is finally going to get released from prison, but he also gets kidnapped by the Wasp and Hank Pym, and they have to steal this piece of black market tech that 2 other groups are trying to get. But also, there's another group trying to get the same tech, and it's Hank Pym's old college buddy, and also his daughter. Some girl is like trying to phase out of reality, but at the same time, Jane Van Dyne is trying to communicate from the quantum realm, and like all 3 of these people, it's like what is the narrative of that movie?
There's no narrative. It's just so God, it's so fucking bad. I think Peyton Reed is like a terrible director to choose like for that movie because it's like he's super bland. Like I've seen Yes Man and like the movie's great, but it's like a comedy, and it's like not trying to be anything. And Yes Man, that's cool, is when Jim Carrey's like playing guitar from like a building and the camera's like panning around him. It's great, but like other than that, like Peyton Reed is super bland, man. And what I think is that Edgar Wright, they knew what Edgar Wright did with the first Ant-Man and like his visual style. So like some of the colors were still there. Like if you watch the first Ant-Man, it's actually pretty visually appealing.
Yeah,
and the only shots that aren't really visually appealing are the shots that you feel like Edgar Wright had no control over.
Yeah.
Which is like, for example, the scene where Ant-Man goes to the Avengers headquarters.
Yep.
That scene looks super lame. It's just shit. It's just shot like Marvel movies, like the color palette is just concrete, everything looks gray, but then when you get back to like the like Pym Laboratories or whatever the place is called, when you get back to that building, like all the lighting is actually pretty cool, and like the lights hit Ant-Man's helmet and it's great. There's this one shot where Ant-Man like jumps down like a tube or something to like get the Yellow Jacket suit, and like how the light reflects off the helmet is just sick as hell. I really love that.
Yeah.
And then you get to Ant-Man and the Wasp, and it's just really boring. Like, the lighting is very mundane, because everything is in the daytime, and I think that also hurts it. But also, it's like, the grading is just... God.
Yeah, it's like... Honestly, like, like when you watch that movie, it feels like a movie that you would watch at midnight on, like, TNT or, like, Stars or whatever, where it's like, it's a made-for-TV movie... And it's like it's inoffensive enough where you can watch it, but like god damn, like it is not inspired at all. And so like it kind of goes back to the plot contrivance thing, where first of all, I'm so sad that Edgar Wright didn't get to make his movie because he literally would have probably made the best Marvel movie like ever if he actually to do his vision. Like whatever, like it may not make logical sense like in the entire MCU ethos, but it would have been amazing. But like the thing with Ant-Man. For the first Ant-Man, the plot of the movie, like one sentence. An ex-con is given a chance at redemption to steal a piece of high-tech armor from evil corporation. Like succinct, like completely tells the story, and because of that like broad and very, very broad yet focused premise, you're able to actually investigate, Ant-Man as a character. You're able to have more comedic moments that actually make sense in the story. And on that point, you can tell the comedy scenes that were written by fucking Edgar Wright. Like everything with Michael Pena's character with the bongo drums where he's like, they're mouthing between different characters.
It's totally Edgar Wright, man.
It's totally Edgar Wright.
Like they said that Edgar Wright had no control over it. Like I call bullshit. Like they totally used something from Edgar Wright. Dead serious. Like Michael Pena, like there were some scenes that were just so Edgar Wright-ish. Like Paul Rudd. And you see like how everything like it's like that quick cut, but like it hits with the sound effect and it's I feel like that had to have some influence or something
for sure,
or at least someone in like the board of directors or whatever saw that and was like, we have to copy that,
Yeah, exactly. And like so with Ant-Man, like obviously Edgar Wright is like a writer director. He helped write the rest of the scripts, and he had to leave for creative reasons, but. The only reason why the movie still functions is because they hired Adam McKay and Paul Rudd to actually help write the script. And they salvaged what they could because basically they had to like deal with all the demands from Marvel. And they also wanted to keep, Edgar's general vision intact because those are without it the best parts of the movie. Like all the heist scenes, like, the way like that, like you said, like the way the camera cuts, the intangibles, like the sound effects and stuff are all Edgar Wright. And like the fact that like they squandered one of the most talented directors working today, in my opinion, they squandered it for just like another entry into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And Ant-Man and the Wasp is even worse because they exploit the Edgar Wright style in those stupid ass like truth serum scenes with Michael Pena, where it's like, oh yeah, it felt like X-Men Apocalypse. Like, you like this in the first movie, we're going to do it times 10 in this movie. Like, fuck you.
With Quicksilver?
Yeah. Like a Quicksilver scene, first of all, in Days of Future Past, genius. And the second one, it just felt like, okay, you're doing the exact same thing. Like, are you going to have, like, I'm blue, dabba-dee, dabba-die while he's saving people in the third one? Like, what are you going to do?
Exactly. Yeah, it was just, I don't.
But to go back on Ant-Man, just bland, uninspired, and like
Ant-Man the Wasp, right?
Yeah, Ant-Man the Wasp. Yeah, sorry, I don't want to badmouth my Lord and Savior Edgar Wright, but like Ant-Man the Wasp, though, again, like my leading premise, I don't know what the plot of that movie is, and I don't think I can explain it in less than 3 sentences, which is just damning for the movie.
I think, yeah, definitely. I think, like I actually really liked The Incredible Hulk, and then I rewatched it, and then I was like, yeah, this movie actually is really bad. And like people who defend The Incredible Hulk, I mean, of course you can defend every movie you want, film is subjective, but I feel like a lot of people that defend The Incredible Hulk actually haven't rewatched it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the first act of The Incredible Hulk is actually not bad.
Yeah.
Are so freaking terrible that it's actually mind-boggling how bad they are. Like, because the second and third acts rely all about the relationship between Betty Ross, who R.I.P. has never been seen again, and Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
Chemistry, they have no chemistry. So the movie pretty much focuses on that so much, and since it's something that doesn't work, then it just fails.
Yeah.
It's boring. And it's also like only like 95 minutes or something. Like it's really short too.
Is that short?
Actually, let me look it up. It's really freaking short from what I remember.
Yeah, I'm looking up too. Damn.
No, it's not. What the hell is wrong with me? That's like it's 2 hours and 15 minutes.
That's even sadder because like the movie feels so inconsequential that it feels like it could take place over 90 minutes.
Exactly. You know what's it's longer it's longer than Iron Man. It's longer than Iron Man, Iron Man 2, and Thor.
Yeah.
It feels like Thor had more going on than The Incredible Hulk. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. Dude, and like you just said, like people always like say like Edward Norton is like, he's an incredible actor. He was amazing in the Hulk. He was on autopilot. He didn't give a shit.
Exactly, dude. It felt like nobody really cared in that movie. Like I feel like the director only cared for that the Rio chase, which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. And like
they just it felt so uninspired, the movie.
Yeah. Like
I feel like the only bad Marvel movies are the ones that are just uninspired. Like they don't really care. Like Ant-Man and the Wasp too. Like it felt uninspired. Like the guy's just like, all right, make it bigger. Let's add a car chase. Let's add Wasp who can fly. But it didn't feel like this is what I want to do with this character because I feel like this should be the direction they should be heading. Yeah. But in Ant-Man and the Wasp also, no character actually changes. Yeah. They're all static, which is surprising because it's like, wait a second. The problem with Ant-Man and the Wasp is that the movie doesn't know what direction to take.
Yeah.
Should it be focused on Scott or should it be focused on Hope? Because the movie always has to have one protagonist and a deuteragonist, you know?
Yeah.
But it just doesn't work. It just, no.
Yeah, exactly. God, the movie sucks. All right. Well, we've been talking for a little while, so we can wrap this up. But I have one more question for you. So, like I said in the beginning of the podcast, I don't know if that got lost in our white noise, seizure, which we'll have to do another podcast for sure. We got along pretty well, so we'll have to make up for the fact that the audio is terrible for the first 15 minutes or so. Like
super down for it, yeah,
for sure. But so my question is, so you have a lot of different avenues of content. Like obviously you're in the anime series. What's it called again? Interstellar.
Interstellar Ranger Commence.
That's what it is. So you make video essays, you make kind of like, long form content, you make movie reviews. What do you envision for your YouTube channel? And I guess going further than that, what do you envision for, I guess, what you want to, what influence do you want to have on the field of entertainment?
So I don't entirely know with a certainty yet. I do know that I want the channel to expand as much as possible. I want it to be its own thing. I don't want it to be tied to YouTube also.
Really?
Interstellar Ranger Commence is I feel like the first big thing, and I'm really trying to push that original idea completely. It's an anime, which makes it really different and just weird. And also the title Interstellar Ranger Commence, like most anime, I try to have it have this breaked up title.
Yeah.
Which kind of feels like it's kind of badly translated at the same time, but also makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm focusing on. Definitely the video essay stuff. Video essays series, but definitely also I feel like skits and stuff like that. I've always wanted to do more of that, but I've never had the time and I've never really had the crew to do stuff like that.
Sure.
Definitely want Browntable to be its own company. I definitely want it to grow. And I've always thought of having multiple people kind of work on different types of videos. I don't know. I feel like I want it to be kind of this rather than it just be me. And I always highlight myself as the person, but mostly because, I'm the only person that can do it right now. That's why Browntable is called Browntable and not, Mauricio Table or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm trying to head towards, and hopefully it works out,
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, look at your growth so far. I mean, what do you have, 140K subs, 150K, some shit like that? You're absolutely killing it. And, like I said, I've been a long time watcher, even before we actually knew each other personally. I've been watching your stuff for, even before I got on YouTube. So, you definitely have a breadth and depth to your content where, you definitely have some sway and some influence on this platform. So if you do take it off of YouTube, then I guarantee you'll find success there for sure. So, good on you for, having the balls to, want to, be more independent because, obviously having the start on YouTube it's hard to, I guess, to be totally scientific to not sucker from the teat, I guess.
Yeah. I feel like, have you ever heard of Rooster Teeth?
No, I have not.
It's the Red versus Blue people.
Oh, that's right. That's what they're called. Okay, they're okay.
Yeah. I kind of wanted it to be like that.
I forgot that's what that fucking name was.
It's a weird name.
Yeah, I just always say Blue Red versus Blue when I talk about that stuff. But yeah, no, that's really cool. Having your own kind of quote unquote media company where you're making content the way you want to, and not letting anyone else get a cut of it because it's all your intellectual property, which is great.
That's what I'm trying to do. Definitely. I feel like Interstellar Ranger Commence is going to be like my Red versus Blue or my Ruby. That's kind of like what I want it to be. Yeah. And so maybe for season 2, if I ever make one, because I'm already struggling with season 1, maybe I'll crowdfund that or something. I don't know. Just try to get money to be able to hire people to help me.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Hard to do it just one person. It's just insane. So yeah.
I got you. And again, I'll put the offer on the table. If you need an impressionist, you know where to find me.
Dude, I got you, man. Definitely. Wow. Wait, did you do your impression here? Did you do it?
I did my Joker one. And I did my Bane one, I believe.
Yeah, I think you did do the Bane one.
Yeah. God, what else should I do?
Do Stitch. You want me to do Stitch?
Oh, I can do Stitch. Well, let me get some of my apple juice.
That's pretty good, man.
What's up?
Pretty good, man.
Yeah, like obviously my my apple juice is kind of low on my vocal cords because anatomically alcohol shrinks your vocal cords, but yeah,
does it? Damn.
Yeah, Stitch is one of my
damn. I actually got a voice actor for does voice imitations, and he can do like the perfect hiccup voice, and I was like so in awe by it. I was like, holy shit, like I want you to do this hiccup voice for me. But eventually, like I didn't have a character to use for a hiccup voice, so I was like, I guess not. But it sounded exactly like him, dude. And Hiccup's voice is like so hard. It's like it's like
yeah, for sure. It's like
let's just bark and just my dragons. I don't know how to make it sound, but it's
like
voice, so.
it's like Jay Baruchel and Sean Connery had a love child with like
exactly
Daniel Craig with like a tiny little bit of like Steve Jobs, like the lisp, like the elongated S noise. Yeah. Oh man.
A bit of helium too. Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, no, for sure. But at any rate, I mean, you obviously are a content creator that like I look up to a lot, and I'm glad that we're getting to know each other, and hope to have you on sometime soon, man.
Yeah, of course, man. Let's hope I can actually like fix the camera thing so I can actually like interact visually with you, because I feel like visual cues are a lot better than just my logo.
Well, dude, honestly, I was looking forward to like a red bar stool instead of like a brown table, so it's like beggars can't be choosers, I guess.
And I was expecting like a whole chemistry set behind you, but I guess not. So I guess
I still have my Deadpool mask here. Let me just
Gotcha. It's beautiful.
Exactly. Anyway, tell the I'm sure everyone in the chat's heard of you, but tell people where they can find you, your Patreon, your Twitter, all that stuff.
Definitely. So go to look up Browntable on YouTube, Browntable_ENT for entertainment, which I dropped from the channel, on Twitter. On Instagram, my Patreon is also Browntable. And yeah, so thank you very much for watching this amazing podcast. It was great to be here, man. Seriously.
Yeah, for sure, man. We'll do it again soon. All right, Lone Chemist Podcast, episode 28. This is take 2 of episode 28. Even though the first 15 minutes or so were lost to the ether of white noise, but yep. Browntable's been the guest, and check him out. He's awesome. Thanks a lot, man. See you later.
See you, man. See you guys.